What is up, guys? Welcome to the ThinkComputers Weekly Tech Podcast. This is episode 448, and our podcast is brought to you by Amazon. If you go to thinkcomputers.org/Amazon and happen to purchase something that helps us out and gives us a little kickback, of course, with me on the other side of the screen is Ryan. What's going on?
Not much. Other side of the screen. I thought you were like in my head. I was thinking it was like on the other side of the country. I'm like, well, no, I'm in the middle.
Yeah, you're in the middle of the country. You're not.
But like next week, you could potentially say on the other side of the world.
Yeah,
be at Computex.
Yeah, I'll be at Computex next week. So I leave tomorrow. I don't know if you can see, but like my luggage is over there. So I'm all packed, all ready to go. So in this episode, we're going to be doing a full Computex preview, what we kind of expect, some of the things that have been sort of leaked that may be coming out or announced at Computex. Ryan reviewed a non-RGB AiO, which I don't think they make anymore, but they do.
They do.
So we'll be talking about that. There's some NVIDIA drama going on and a bunch of other stuff. Battlefield 6 release date. I'm kind of pumped for that, actually, as well. So lots of stuff to talk about. If you guys did want to follow along, of course, we do have our full show notes page here that has all the links, everything that we're going to be talking about this week. And everything. So if you do want to follow along, it is all right here. Let's start with your review, Ryan. So when you hear Corsair and you hear AiO, all you think about is RGB and you think about screens. That's like typically, what happens. And what actually you got to review was a non-screen, non-RGB.
Yep. There are no lights on here, yeah.
And I didn't think Corsair made these anymore, but they do.
So they do. So I took a look at the Nautilus 360 RS. And like Bob mentioned, this is I mentioned a couple times, it's a stealthy, like sleeper all-in-one cooler because there's no LEDs, period, right? So you're not getting any RGB lighting, you're not getting any LCD screens on this, right? A lot of the coolers we've looked at lately have had those LCD screens. I just looked at that Trix unit that's got a 6.5-inch LCD that curves around, right? I've got another version of that here that's going to be coming out in a few weeks. So this is a little different, but I think there's an audience for this because ever since we've gotten fans that were single color lights, there've been the people that are like, I don't want that. I don't have a window on my case. I just want a cooler. I don't care what it looks like. Just cool my computer, right? So this is one that it still looks good. I like the design of it. They've borrowed the design from previous AIOs that they have. But let's get right into it. So this is the 360 RS. So it's a 360 millimeter all-in-one cooler. They do offer multiple sizes here. They've got the 360 and then a 240 available. It's your standard all-in-one liquid cooler that's got your three 120s, a pump housing, and a radiator, right? Like you could almost stop the review right there because there's nothing else.
Well, here's the questions that I have because I didn't fully look through your review, so don't yell at me. But one, does it come with pre-mounted fans?
No.
Okay, so you have to mount the fans yourself.
You do have to mount the fans. Yes.
Does it come with pre-applied thermal paste?
Yes.
Okay, those are my two main questions.
Yep.
Like Ryan said, essentially, it's a 360 millimeter AiO. There's no other special features. It's PWM based, or does it connect to their software?
It does not. It is not.
So it's
controlled.
Truly old school. As we would say,
you've got your PWM cable, for your pump housing, and you've got your PWM lead for your fans.
So I say that. Yeah.
The fans do daisy chain, so like that's a current type of connection and feature that we see here, which is nice. But there's no USB cables you've got to connect, no proprietary type of adapter you got to put on anything. So,
just bring us to the performance then.
Pretty much. So I'll go over real quick, right? We got an all black design here, a standard 27 millimeter thick radiator paired up with, now there is a little bit of chrome on the side of it, right? We got a Corsair chrome logo off to the side, but really nothing special about anything here. I do like the look of this, and it almost looks exactly like, and I have it sitting here, the IQ Link Titan 360RX RGB, right? But that model had lighting under here. You could take this cap off and rotate it. This cap does not come off. It's in this orientation. So that's how it's going to be. But yeah, we've got swiveling fittings. We do have pre-applied thermal paste, which is nice. But they don't include a syringe of additional thermal paste, which I thought was a little upsetting because the hardware that's included with it is still pretty nice. Like, they do a good job with their hardware. Their screws are pretty nice. They give you washers. I don't know how much a little syringe of thermal paste costs, but it can't be that much. So I would like to see some of that included. We also have their 120 millimeter RS120 fans that are included with it. They have really good specs. On our newest test bench, they are the highest static air pressure rating at their top speed compared to all the other fans that we've looked at. So that kind of bodes well towards performing well. But they are a very plain fan, right? They do chain together PWM, but there's no like rubber feet at the corners, which bugs me a little bit. I mean, I like to see it there because it will reduce any vibrations that you might get, from those fans in your system. How often does it come up? Not too often. As long as you secure things in, like, you're usually not going to get any vibrations there, unless you've got like a bad fan that's got a wobbly motor or a misshapen set of blades. You're going to be all right. It's just it's a cost-saving feature here that we see. But these are pretty nice fans otherwise.
Nice.
Installation is super easy with this. As you mentioned earlier, they are not pre-installed fans, so you do have to install them on the radiator. So it adds a little bit of work to the process. Not a big deal, though. I mentioned they're daisy chain fans, so you do have to wire them up and put them in the correct orientation, but that's a super easy process. Comes with all your standard Intel and AMD mounting hardware for current platforms. Intel does come standard attached to the cooler. All you got to do is slide that off, slide on the AMD if you need to do that. Super easy process. Add a couple threaded adapters to the motherboard, some standoffs there, and then toss on some screws with the springs there so that you can get the right tension and mounting pressure on your cooler, and you are set to go. All you got to do is plug in those two wires for your PWM.
It is so, like, that picture right there is so refreshing in my mind. Just because, like,
there's no complexity.
We're just so used to RGB or a screen or something, and it's just like, this just brings me back. Like, it brings me back to like 5 years ago. It's kind of crazy. It is. Yeah, like it.
So yeah, we are still building out the new graphs for our all-in-one coolers. So we are slowly adding to that list. I did adjust these compared to the previous two to kind of split them out into their RPM settings for each cooler for idle, load, and noise. But this thing performed awesome. Blue is the color for the Corsair cooler here. So at 500 RPM, it was beating or matching like max RPMs for the other two coolers. And so I was really impressed, and I like ran these tests multiple times with this cooler because I was like, something doesn't seem right here. Like, how is this doing it? Nope. I'm running the same versions of software. It's in the same system, the same case. I'm in the same room. Room temperature, is all everything's the same. So I was like, okay, well, let's see how it does like in these load tests. Almost the same thing, right? Its lowest fan setting is almost as good as the other's max or high RPM settings. And when you get into higher RPMs with this, it gets louder, but it outperforms them by multiple degrees.
Yeah,
it was very impressive. So, and I kind of mentioned this early on with at least the first two coolers, we're just building out this new test bed and seeing how all these coolers end up, right, once we get them into test. So there was the possibility that, okay, these first two were pretty close to each other in performance, but is that the norm, or is this going to be the norm, right, with the temperatures we're getting from this Corsair kit? So obviously we're going to be adding more to it. We'll see if this is an outlier that's like a spectacular performer, or if this becomes the new norm, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, we'll keep building this out, and so check back with us in the future as we add more coolers to these graphs. Noise-wise, it was a lot closer to the others once you get into certain RPMs. So you had noise levels that were similar to the other coolers, but better performance. So to me, that's great. If I can get better performance out of this thing and it's quieter, that's awesome.
I like that.
And then, just my overview. I didn't put down any negatives for this. I don't believe I had no cons. I guess you could say, and I think I put it in there before, and I might go back and add this. You don't have pre-mounted fans, right? So in most cases, you're going to orient them in a push configuration. So I don't see why they can't add them. But other than that, it had amazing idle and load performance. It's very affordable. This is right now available for essentially $110, which I think is good, especially for the price or for the performance that you're getting out of this.
Yeah,
can you get a cheaper 360 AiO? Yes. Is it going to perform this well? Probably not. So I was super impressed. Gave it a 10 out of 10.
Nice. Well, that's awesome to see.
I haven't done one of those in a while. Yeah. So
I was surprised when I saw the review and I was like 10 out of 10. Ryan really must have liked it. So
it was great.
Yeah, very cool. And it's great to see that, like, again, you think of Corsair, you think of RGB out, IQ, and having something like that that's super stealthy, and they match it with the performance. It's not just like stealthy, it actually has the performance as well. So really, really like that.
And I think one thing to keep in mind, yes, I gave it a 10 out of 10, and that would be like comparing it to another like similar like non-RGB but performance, right? Because you could also give a 10 out of 10 to some of these higher end coolers that perform close to this, but they may have amazing software integration and amazing screens, right? So there's like, you have to keep that in mind when you're thinking about the score, right? So just, someone might see a 10 out of 10 on something that doesn't have any lighting or RGB. Well, that's because it was designed to do this and it did it well. And
for like reference here, like if you look at if you look at Corsair's website, they make a Nautilus 360. Where is it?
The 360 is on there, or it should be right there. You just have a 240 selected. See how it's got 4 of them there?
Oh yeah. So
yep. There you go.
For reference, like the if you did one RGB, and I assume the performance is around the same, it's only $130 compared to the
109.
109. So it's not even that bad of a price difference, to be honest. And you can get it in white if you wanted to. Yeah,
it should be very similar performance. They are like the RGB version of those fans, the RS120s. And I presume it's the same everything else, right?
So very cool. So definitely go ahead and check that review out. I said last week that I had a case review, but I didn't realize that the release date's tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. It'll come out tomorrow. And I haven't done a case video in a while, so I made a full video on this case. I feel like I did a really good job and detailed job. So stay tuned. All that's launching tomorrow. And I'm looking at the case. I can't show it to you, but I'm looking at it. It looks nice. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. But talking about something that looks nice, we'll move to Case Mod Friday, and we have new builds, I would say, from Sneth Computer Design, one of my favorite builders. And these are called yin yang builds because they essentially mirror each other. These are 2 custom builds here. And if we look at them, one's black, one's white, one has black hardware, one has white hardware. They both have yellow coolant, frosted tubing there, and just like I said, it's a yin and a yang. What do you think, Ryan?
I really like this. The only thing I wish this build would have had is matching motherboards but different colors, because we've got an ROG there. You can see, right? We got a Strix, and then there is an Aorus board in the white one.
Yeah,
so
I think
if there was
said he couldn't find a white. Couldn't find a white ASUS Mini ITX motherboard. I think that was
right. So I would have. So then, like, all right, go with a black Aorus board, right? That's the only thing. I know it's nitpicking, but it's the same memory, same color scheme and like mirrored look. I mean, Snef, I'm not like gonna like talk trash on their work because I'm anywhere near that. So yeah, these are cool for sure.
Yeah, I really like it. Now, are the blocks different too? I didn't see that. Hold on. Yeah, so
they are. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the close up. So this block is a clear block actually, and then the other one on the black one is a dark block. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, I really like these. They just like go together super well. And I think he did this for a client. Imagine getting these two systems like for your office. Like
it's like a his and hers or something.
Yeah, like how cool is that?
Yeah.
I'd be super pumped to have these. Like, look at that. Oh man. Yeah, these look great.
These are nice.
Yeah. So shout out to Snef. Always good stuff from him. And yeah, these look just awesome. So yeah, we'll move on from there. We do have Old Man in the chat. I forgot to say hi. He's in here. He said that he bought a new cooler a few weeks ago, the Enermax Liquid Max Flow 360 ARGB. Oh, cool. How's that performing for you? Let us know. We haven't tested any Enermax stuff in a while.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have to get some of that stuff in there as well. We'll move on to news before we do like a full sort of Computex preview. Some of this stuff has to do with Computex, so we'll talk about that as well. First, this was super cool. So forever, and we talked about it on this podcast at the time, we're always like RTX 40 series. We're like, where's the Titan? Where's the Titan?
Sure.
We talked about where's the Titan. The Titan never came out because now we have the 50 series. Who knows if we'll get a Titan as part of the 50 series too, but there was no RTX Titan as part of the 40 series. And apparently there are prototypes out there, and DeBauer got his hands on one. And just to show you the magnitude of this card, the first thing that you see here in these pictures is dual 12 VH PWR. So you can put 1200 watts in this. And if the card looks big, just for reference,
it is big.
That's the size of it compared to a 4090.
Yeah.
Like he said it's the biggest graphics card that he's ever handled. There's a full video, which I would like you should go watch. We have it in the article. Super cool that he got his hands on this because it prototypes you don't typically see kind of get it put out there, and he was able to run some benchmarks, and you can kind of see the difference compared to everything, compared to the 4090 and then the 5090. But oh man, true 4 slot. It's slotted for 4 slot too. Man,
it is pretty
why didn't we get this thing? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know. I think didn't it have like a different board layout too? Like it's broken down into like 3 pieces.
I'm not sure.
I thought maybe that was something else.
The big difference. So like if we look at the specs of the card, the RTX 4090 had 16,384 CUDA cores. This has 18,432. As far as memory, you got double essentially. So the 4090 had 24 gigabytes of GDDR6. This had 48 gigabytes of GDDR6. Both have TDPs of 450 watts, which is interesting.
That's interesting considering you got 2.
Well, it's a prototype, so
yeah.
Running extra stuff, but really, really cool. I would say, like I said, check out the video because it's something that I think is super cool to see, especially if you're a PC enthusiast. And we thought for months on end that we would see this card, and just never came to the light of day. So yeah, definitely, like I said, check that out. Old Man says, when it comes to that Enermax Liquid Max Flow 360, he said it's a great 360 AiO. I haven't done any stress tests right now. It's idling 37C on a 12900K. That's pretty good. 12900K gets hot. So yeah, so let's talk about some NVIDIA drama, which seems to be happening.
Isn't there always NVIDIA drama?
Well, we all know from everything that we've seen, all the leaks that we've seen, that the RTX 5060 is coming out.
Yep.
Should be announced at Computex. That's what we've heard. That's what all the leaks say. And apparently, we haven't been sampled a card, but apparently people already have cards. There's already cards. And typically, if you're a reviewer of an NVIDIA graphics card, NVIDIA provides you with a pre-release driver so you can test the card. So when NVIDIA makes the announcement of the card, you have your review launches the same day.
Yeah.
So consumers can make an informed decision when they want to buy the card or pre-order the card or whatever it is. That's how it always goes. I don't think it's ever been different. Has a graphics card ever released without any reviews on launch day?
I feel like we did have this a while back. Yeah. Something similar.
I don't remember that ever happening.
Look.
So that's typically how it happens. When we review graphics cards, we get it maybe a week before, we get pre-release driver, and then we run all our tests. That's how it happens. It seems as if NVIDIA is not providing the RTX 5060 driver. They're not providing it. Hardware Unboxed put out a whole thing on X about this. And they are saying that they're only going to provide the driver on launch day to everybody. So it seems like they're trying to hide this card. Like what is your consensus of that?
I mean,
because if you have a solid product, obviously you're sampling this product because they said they have multiple 5060 samples.
Yep.
If this product is so like, if you want people to know about, and this is going to be their highly bought SKU based on price, why?
So I can think of two things. It's either a crap card, or they want to continue selling more of their higher end cards, and they don't want much focus on this. So they're just like, but the problem with that is like the driver is obviously going to come out, and reviewers are going to then be able to provide reviews, just not as soon as we would like, so that people, like you said, can make informed decisions on their purchases. Maybe people will be smart enough to not buy it and wait for the reviews, like we say with everything, right? We always say wait and read the reviews, check out the reviews, which is tough when stock is hard to come across and you're just like, I'm just gonna buy it because
you see the card available, but you're like, I don't know. There's no there's no in-depth reviews. It's just what NVIDIA is saying with their numbers. Like,
yep.
So like what I see is like, either one, they're afraid of what reviewers are going to say, right?
But they're going to say it either way.
Or the driver's real messed up.
That could be another.
And they're just like, we're just going to hold off till it releases. We'll have the driver then. But it is interesting, right? Because obviously, a lot of people are going to Computex next week. So like they can't be at home testing the card anyways. And to not provide that driver when people have cards, it just seems weird to me. It just seems odd.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't, like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, I really think that they're just hiding the performance. There's no other really explanation for it in my mind. Yeah, Old Man in the chat says, I think NVIDIA is relying on pre-builds and budget builders to buy it regardless of reviews. Well, that's like the thing. It's like they're kind of like hiding it. Again, as a consumer, you want an informed decision. And at least from the past 2 generations of graphics cards, we get them a week before, you do your testing, and then on release day, all the reviews are there. So you as a consumer can make that decision. You can see all the different websites, all the different YouTubers, and you can see the performance. This what are they going to announce it, and then on whatever launch day is, you're just going to have to rely on what NVIDIA says?
Right. And if you remember correctly, the beginning of January, NVIDIA said that the 50 series or the 5070 was going to be as good as the 4090. So take their words with a grain of salt.
And the thing is too, is like we're in this weird space of availability, and okay, there's so many cards available. Are you just going to buy one without the informed decision? If you wait a day, there's none left.
Right.
It's a tough. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Especially considering like they have the cards, and typically you get access to a press driver. So that's just not a fan of that at all. Moving to the Intel side, like I said last week, we haven't heard much from Intel. It really looks like they're going to put out a 24 gig VRAM card. EEC registration has picked up these cards from Maxsun. And if you look at the product names, Intel Arc B850 iCraft 24G, and the iCraft 24G OC. So are we really going to see a 24 gig VRAM Intel card?
I think it would be awesome if we did. Yeah, I like the way Intel's going. Like so far, right? They've had 2 pretty successful for their size dedicated GPU launches, right? This would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and again, that 24 gig VRAM would enable some other things, AI stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting if we see some of these at Computex.
Well, and just looking at this list, I don't even think I see 8 gig in there. Like it's 10, 12, 24. I don't even think I see an 8 gig card in there. So that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Right? They kick things off with no more 8 gig cards.
I would love to see that. So really interesting to see if we see this at Computex. So we'll add that to our end as we talk about Computex. Also, white graphics cards coming from ASUS, and they're not just releasing like one line. You have the one white card out of the whole. Yeah. It seems like the entire product stack is going to get white versions. So,
that Astral looks good.
Yeah, a white Astral,
a white Tough,
and a white Prime. So it looks like now we don't know what, like, are these 5080s? Are these 57? Like what but it would really, really be nice if at least most of the product stack, like 5080, 5070 Ti, 5070, 5060 Ti, would get white versions. I would really love to see that. Yeah. In my head, I'm like, it's probably 5080. But that white Astro just looks sick. All of these look great.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought we'd ever see a white Tough product, but
there it is. Unless this is a fake image. ASUS France put this picture out. They since deleted it.
Okay.
So seems to be real. So yeah, like I'm pretty pumped to see this. Like I said, hopefully we'll see it at Computex there as well.
Sweet.
Talking about ASUS, they have put out a Doom Dark Ages game bundle, and we talked about this because Doom Dark Ages, you get it. What was it, AMD or NVIDIA? I think it was NVIDIA. I think it was NVIDIA had the game bundle.
I think so.
But with this, you not only can buy ASUS ROG graphics cards and get Doom Dark Ages, but you can buy pre-builds, you can buy their gaming NUC, you can buy AIOs, you can buy a router, power supply.
Pull up that picture.
Oh yeah, I should probably show you what I'm talking about.
There you
go. Yeah. So like, I think it's like over. How many did they say? Over. I think he said over 200 products
that you can buy that qualify. That's pretty
yeah. Big. Why can't I find this? I'm like blind. Oops.
I think that Astral card is pretty awesome. The Doom version.
400? No. But it was a lot of products that you could get, you know, displays, motherboards, graphics cards, power supplies, AIO coolers, ROG NUC, mini PCs, and more. So that's like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Looks
there's
like
we have links to the eligible products, so there's a ton. So yeah, like if you're thinking about buying something and you want to get a free game, which doesn't necessarily happen all that often, if it's an ROG product, you could get Doom Dark Ages, which looks so good. I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah, it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. So pretty cool. Like I said, we have all the links if you are interested in it. But yeah, looks pretty cool. Pretty cool to see that. So, and then on the Gigabyte side of things, they teased a RTX 5090 Stealth Ice, which has no cables, as you can see right here. Part of their Stealth Ice sort of concept here, but yeah, no cables. I think the no cable does look really, really good. And we've seen it here for a little bit. On their stealth. I guess they're just calling theirs their Stealth Ice.
Was it Sparkle or who was it that had the power on their card that was kind of at the end? I think it was an AMD card though, and it like routed around.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And it had the little cover over it, or maybe it was Sapphire. Sapphire, I think is what it was.
Yeah, it's not
just hiding that cable is like, why haven't we gotten there yet?
I'm not sure if this is like what ASUS is doing with the connector on the card, or if it's that hidden connector that's just like coming out the backside here. It is unclear. I'm not sure with the Stealth Ice motherboards, like, you know, the connections on the back of this motherboard, but like, I'm not sure if they have a connector, like how it's actually doing that. I would guess, because I think ASUS did patent that connector.
That connector to go through, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure there's just like a hidden power connector at the back and it routes through. But still, this looks so nice. So yeah, that'll be exciting to see at Computex as well. SanDisk launched their WD Black SN8100. We talked about this when it was leaked. It's so weird when they did their reorganization. It's you know, WD Black is part of SanDisk now, not Western Digital. It's called WD Black, but they're keeping the WD Black name. This is their PCI Express 5.0 NVMe SSD. Speeds up to 14,900 megabytes a second. Capacity up to 8 terabyte. You can see there is a heatsink and non-heatsink version of this. Yeah, this is going to be their new flagship. So yeah, pricing: 1 terabyte, $179.99, 2 terabyte, $279.99, 4 terabyte, $549.99. And they don't have an 8 terabyte listing there. 8 terabytes not available at launch, will be available later this year. So you going to pick up that 4 terabyte for $569?
No. I mean, I'd love to, but no. It's funny though that the heat spreader, if you scroll up to that top image, it still shows, or even that one, Western Digital on the bottom right corner.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll start calling these like SD Black, right? Like SanDisk Black. You could very easily make that switch.
Yeah, I feel like WD Black has a pretty big history. I don't know if I'd like to see it go away. So, but these will be available. So yeah, if you're looking for one of the fastest drives out there, definitely check the SN8100 out. Old man in the chat says, I still have a WD Black 256 gigabyte M.2. I think I have a 64 gigabyte M.2 from OCZ of all people, which yeah, makes me really old. But
I have one. I swear I had one over here. Just
is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, it's right here. what do I have? I got the OG with the the EK cooler.
Oh yeah,
This is the best looking one in my opinion.
That one was that one. Everybody wanted that.
Yeah, this is the SN750. That's 500 gig.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Old Man says that 256 was his OS drive for a couple of years. Yeah, I remember when M.2s first came out, and you're like, I want it, but then you can only get certain sizes. And, So talking about drive size, Seagate sets ambitious goal for 100 terabyte hard drives by 2030.
What I don't understand about this, and I haven't read it, but the title is to support AI growth. Why are we putting this stuff on hard drives?
I think for massive storage.
I mean, obviously capacity, but what do you like? I just presume that AI would run better on solid state.
Yeah, but for the big data centers, all the data you need, it all runs on this.
Sure. No, I agree. I just I don't know.
Do you think we'll see it
by 2030? That's 4.5 years.
And what's the biggest drive you can get now?
I don't know.
28?
20 something? That's a big jump.
Yeah. And how many platters?
Right. Yeah. Are they 3.5-inch drives, but they're twice as thick?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll see. I when I see stories like this, I'm just like, will it actually happen? That's a lot and not a lot of time. Like I said, we've only, we've gotten up to close to 30 terabytes, and then that's kind of where we've been. So jumping up to 100 is a lot. So we'll see if that happens. Now, this is something I was super excited about. Battlefield 6, March 2026 release, before GTA 6.
Yeah, steal some of that thunder, right?
Yeah. This is official too. So EA officially announced that Battlefield 6 will launch March 31st, 2026.
Yeah, I mean, you steal away the thunder, get people playing your game, and if it's good, it's hard to peel those people away sometimes, right? Who knows?
Yeah, so we're gonna get a full reveal in the summer, which will be something pretty exciting, I think. Battlefield games are all just super fast, super fun. So I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, COD is faster, I feel, but Battlefield usually has a little more realism to it.
Yeah, that's the thing I really liked about Battlefield was the realism, and then the missions were a lot of fun.
Yep.
A lot of fun.
Yep.
And the big, not open world, but the pretty big maps with a lot of players having, and again, it's not just you're all infantry, you can get in jets, you can get in tanks, you can do all that kind of stuff. It's just so much fun. So I'm really excited for the next installment of Battlefield. So now they say March 2026. Hopefully there's not a delay.
Yeah.
But I think their whole goal is to steal some of that thunder from GTA 6, because GTA 6 comes out in May, and I think when that game comes out, that's all people are going to do for the rest of 2026, I feel.
Yeah.
So you got to get your game out before that to at least get some sales, I feel.
Yep.
So that's what I think. That's what I think they're doing, and I'm pretty excited for it. So maybe, like I said, we'll pick it up and we'll play it here on stream. That'll be kind of fun. So, so that is essentially the news. We talked about some stuff that could possibly be happening at Computex. They kind of break it down into different segments. So we'll start with graphics cards. I think the big thing with graphics cards, you're going to see RTX 5060. You're going to see, and then you're going to see 9600 or 9060 XT. Do you have any thoughts on those two? Like I said, I'm kind of wondering, where will we even see performance of 5060 at the show?
Yeah.
they're kind of hiding it. Seems like.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not super excited about either one of those, right? It's not a flagship card, so I mean, it's exciting from a like quantity standpoint because that's like we always say, that's going to be like your widest customer base. So it's good that those cards are coming out now for that customer base, but like, I want to see the numbers about the big cards, and we already have the big cards. So not super excited there, but yeah, I don't know.
And then we also have a possible Intel 24 gig card.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting. And to see maybe as these products roll out, we saw this with like Ryzen motherboards over time. Like the first motherboards were kind of like crappy, and they got better and better and better. So like with this, if this is something that they're really going to push, you'll see like AIB cards maybe get a little bit better, get like, just like the designs are going to be better, things like that. I think that those are kind of the big things when it comes to graphics cards. Like I said, I think maybe we'll see some special edition cards from different brands and things like that as well, like current 50 series or current AMD cards as well, like maybe some special editions and things like that. We also last year, was it last year? Computex was the year before. Like we saw was it the 4090 Matrix from ASUS?
Which the Matrix was.
That's the hybrid card.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was like a big deal. So hopefully to see some cool stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and they've shown some of those like Astral versions. There's like the gold and like turquoise one, right? Like, so maybe you'll see some stuff like that. Maybe they'll have one of the Doom cards there or some other partnerships.
Yeah, I would really like to see the Doom card as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that those are going to be the main things when it comes to graphics cards at Computex. I honestly don't really think we'll see much motherboard stuff. Like, do you think we're going to see, there's no real launches coming?
Right. Yeah, we don't have CPUs coming out. We're pretty solid in our current.
Maybe, like I said, they like the back connect motherboards, maybe some new SKUs, maybe like some special edition motherboards. I think will be seen, like again the Aorus Ice boards and some of those different concepts. I think we'll see.
What was the name of those like ASRock, the ones with like the paint, the graffiti boards? Like maybe the Live Mixer.
Yeah, but they changed Live Mix. They're not like that
anymore. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you'll see some tweaks. Just different model types like that, where they tweak the visuals or change stuff up a little, but nothing major. I don't foresee.
Cases. We always talk about InWin, their special case that they always have at Computex. So I'll be excited to see that. Hopefully we see some other cases too, like some other, kind of special edition cases. I'm hoping to see a lot of builds there too. That's one of my favorite things about going to some of these is like seeing builds from modders and stuff. But the InWin case, I mean, is there anybody else, like any other? I mean, I would love to see another ProArt case from ASUS.
Yeah,
if they would do that.
There was some Silverstone stuff I was looking at, but they had already kind of shown it. They did a new version of I reviewed the CES 382 year and a half, 2 years ago. They have the 383 now. It's just a bigger version with some additional features. I was kind of excited to see that. But they actually started to show that off last year, it sounds like. So
yeah, it's kind of like Computex is kind of interesting because typically like we see there's a lot of prototypes, like a lot of prototype certain things there. So hopefully we see some really cool cases. I'm excited to see some case. I'm a big case person. So hopefully we see some cases. And then like display stuff, I saw the Samsung already announced the 500 hertz monitor. We'll probably see super high refresh rate stuff. And maybe I think we'll see
dual refresh rate type.
Oh, I totally forgot. Gaming handhelds. Are we going to see the ROG Ally 2?
Maybe, yeah.
I saw some leaks about the Zotac Zone 2.
Yeah.
We have MSI with their gaming handheld as well, so that could be something. But I think we'll see a lot of gaming handhelds as well. New AMD hardware in most of those too, so faster performance, things like that. Yeah, actually pretty excited to see those. I think those will actually look quite good. Anything else that you're really excited for, or like you think we'll see at Computex?
I mean, we're not seeing any like. There's no like Gen 6, drives or anything like that. Right?
Yeah.
We're not there, so that's not coming out. We're not getting new memory. Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be nice to see a different, like a G skill. We always like a new design from some companies on, like, just something with we know all the like RGB memory, like it all kind of looks the same. So maybe something different there would be nice to see. A lot of companies, like a lot of stuff that we saw at CES that was like prototype, will probably be like finished version by then too. So with like Thermaltake had some AIOs with screen on it, curved screen on it. So those might be closer to final. They had some cases that would probably be closer to final as well.
Yeah, like you mentioned, like maybe some new lines. And I know new lines of products are hard to do. Like, we got the Astro line now from ASUS, right? But that's tough to build out a whole new product line, especially when you've got an existing line. But
yeah,
those would always be exciting to see, right? Someone launch a new, either high end or that caters to a certain demographic or type of builder or user.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I think those are essentially going to be the big things. Like I said, like we talked about, I will be there. I actually leave tomorrow morning to go to Taiwan, so it'll be a long flight. That Ryan hates the long flights.
Yeah.
So he is not going. I think if I have a good trip, will you want to come next year?
I don't know. Maybe
because like look at Ryan's face. Everybody watch the video. Look at Ryan's face. He's afraid of the long flight.
I don't like flying in general. So
why don't you like flying?
That's a long time. I just don't enjoy it.
Why? I mean, nobody's enjoy it. You're in a tin box in the sky.
I like flight anxiety, right? Like I don't like flying. So
once you're there, you kind of just relax.
Oh yeah, you get there and it's fine, right? But
yeah. But yeah,
I'm not going to take a boat. So
well, yeah, this will be our first time actually going to Computex. We always cover Computex, but this will be our first time actually going. It's my first time in Taiwan, so I'm super excited.
Are you going anywhere else, like any factory tours or anything? Because I know you've been to Zotac before.
We're going to ASUS. So a handful of the companies are actually showing products at their headquarters. So we're going to the ASUS headquarters. We're going to Cooler Master headquarters. And we might have some other stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff that's sort of up in the air about, what we're doing. But yeah, like I said, just make sure you follow us on social. Everything's going to be pushed out there. We're going to be pushing out a lot of content throughout the week. So definitely just stay tuned for all of that. But I'm super excited.
And it's okay. So it's 9 a.m. there right now on Thursday. So they're 11 hours difference from me. Is that right? Anyways, yeah. So about half a day difference. So
yeah. So like I leave Thursday morning here. I get there Friday evening.
Oof. All right. Well, I'll just keep it in mind when I'm like wanting to send you a message or something and be like,
I mean, I'll see the message, but if I'm sleeping, I mean, I put my phone on do not disturb, so it won't matter.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like I said, I'm super excited to go. I think it'll be a good trip and lots of content. I think that's the biggest thing. We'll get a ton of content for you guys, tell you guys about it, all the stuff that's coming out. We have a lot of cool stuff planned for it. So definitely stay tuned for all of that. We will have a dedicated page, which I will share the URL on our socials. So stay tuned for that. And maybe even a contest, a Computex contest we'll have going on as well. So stay tuned for all of that. They'll all be on our dedicated page. So like I said, just stay tuned for all of that. Also, like I said, a new case comes out tomorrow. We have a review and a video dropping at the same time tomorrow.
Great.
So my video is like 18 minutes long. It's a very long video. So
Okay.
yeah, so stay tuned for that as well. The question of the week, we already kind of talked about it. Like, what are you is there anything that you would be most excited to see?
I mean, you already brought it up, but like it was always cool when Inwin had their signature series cases, just because they're so wild, right? And then it's like, all right, I see this there on the screen. It's in Taiwan. It'll probably be at CES, right? So I'll be able to see it myself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I think I'm actually pretty excited for the ROG Ally 2. I think it was like, as these devices get more powerful, I really, like, again, Ryan and I always talk about how like we won't really ever use one, but I just really like that. I just like the compact. I like it. I think it'd be cool. So that's kind of what I'm excited. Always excited for the Inwin case. So we have a set meeting with Inwin, so we will be checking out. Hopefully they have a case like that there as well. So Old man in the chat said Xbox handhelds would be interesting. I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, it seems as if ASUS will be the OEM for that. I would assume it's just going to be like an ROG Ally that's sort of skinned like Xbox. I think that's the direction that they're going. I don't think it doesn't appear to be a Microsoft made device solely, which is kind of a little disappointing in my eyes. It would have been nice to see like a Microsoft made device, but ASUS they have a really good product, and I guess Microsoft probably didn't want to spend the money to go make their own, and they could probably just skin it. That's everything that we've seen so far. So I think that's going to be the case when it comes to that. But that is going to wrap it up for this week. Ryan, are you gaming tonight?
I mean, are you not?
I am not. I'm going to bed because I have an early flight.
What time is your flight?
Early. I have an early flight, and then I have to finish. I have to clean. I have to do a ton of stuff. So I don't believe I will be gaming. But are you going to be gaming? Right
I was planning on it.
Maybe I'll jump in for like one game, but I won't be.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but Ryan, of course, has that stream up over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/ThinkComputers. Like I said, the next time you will see us, there will be no podcast next week either, because I will be in Taiwan. And then the following week, we will have a podcast. Will be our full wrap up with everything that I, of course, saw when I'm there. So definitely stay tuned for that. But like I said, if you want to keep on hanging out with Ryan, it's twitch.tv/ThinkComputers. And we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.